Alright, here we are. Welcome to my review of Fantastic Four. I've taken in your suggestions. I've asked multiple times what should I eat for this review. I got a lot of comments about how I should do something relating to their powers and something, and I was like, oh my god, here we fucking go. Here's what I did to make this. Okay, so we got some chicken fingers in the air fryer. That may look like a little bit, but that's an insane amount of calories. I thought we had frozen chicken tenders. I thought I was gonna use that because they're like more meat and less whatever the fuck they put in chicken fingers, which is like basically not chicken. And I was like, okay, it's a good balance of protein and other shit, you know? But nope, we didn't have any, so I had to use frozen chicken fingers. Anyways, yeah, here's the fire noodles. Jesus Christ, I'm about to open it. Well, in classic fashion, I managed to fuck this up. It's just, I ripped this open just a little bit and it fucking exploded everywhere. It's on the plate. And my god, this smells like death. Oh my god, look at that. The smell smells good though, I can't lie. All right, there we go. Slosh, slosh. That looks pretty good though, I can't lie. Doesn't look as dark as I remember. But usually I have the packet one, not these cardboard cup ones. I think I left too much water in, but it's still gonna fuck me in the ass, okay? So don't worry. Okay, so the plan is, right? I saw this video years ago. I'll try finding it and putting it on the screen. So basically the plan is rice paper for Sue Storm, fire noodles for Human Torch, cheese for Mr. Fantastic, and the thing, I just put chicken fingers apparently. So I'm gonna make 3 of these, and hopefully I don't die. We wet the rice paper, putting it down, it's gonna get soft. So we're gonna put a bed of fire noodles right here. By the way, I'm probably not gonna do this again, like having like a themed food. I'm only doing this because so many of you suggested that I do something relating to like each of their powers and shit. This is too much effort for me, you know? Okay, so we have a bed of noodles right there. Oh god, I'm gonna have leftover. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to eat some of these noodles raw. Hopefully this doesn't slide off. 2 chicken fingers right there. Actually, I'll put the cheese in first. Got some Costco Mexican style blend cheese. Yeah, I use pre-shredded cheese, okay? I don't think like professional chefs don't really like that because it does have like stuff that separates the cheese, so it doesn't really melt that well if you get pre-shredded cheese. So that's why a lot of chefs say to shred your own cheese, but fuck it, it's convenient. And a Mexican mix of cheese is expensive in Australia. Costco stuff is usually pretty good. Chicken fingers, boom. And then we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap the sides. Boom. Boom. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That might look gross to some of you, but I think I nailed that. All right, next one. You know, I'm also lactose intolerant, so I'm gonna have to take like a lactose pill before eating this. Oh my God, so many things are gonna make me shit myself in this fucking meal. Oh god, oh god, oh god. There we go. Why is this noodle so long? All right, there we go. Dry my hands so I don't get the cheese wet because that will create mold. There's a lesson for you guys. Boom. Hopefully this tastes as good as it looks. 1, 2. This is like the most bachelor fucking meal ever. By the way, I cook a lot. So this is like quite, I guess that's weird mixing my hobbies like this. And I don't even know if you can call this cooking. It's not really cooking, it's just putting shit together. All right, let's wrap this. Yeah, look how perfect that looks. That's picture perfect. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we have a hole. We have our first fail. Our first fail. It's gutted. Oh no, there's like holes everywhere. Fuck. Dude, look at my finger. Look how it's staining from the fucking radioactivity of this noodle sauce. I'm gonna pack this up and I'll see you back at the studio. And we're back, so hopefully I don't die. These fire noodles are so spicy to me. I know as a Korean, I should have like a good spice tolerance, but these are fucking killer. This isn't even the 2 times 1. This is like the regular one, so. Spoiler free first, and as always, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I always recommend to watch the movie first before watching any review on the internet. Because like, why would you want your opinion biased by anything? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I always say that in all of my reviews. So spoiler free first. I think it was a good entry in the MCU. I think it was solid. No glaring flaws apart from one narratively. towards the end. Let's talk about the cast. So the acting cast, they were really good. The family dynamic is great. I love how they do it. I love how they introduce the characters as well. They kind of speed run through what you're meant to know about them. They don't really focus too much on the origin story, but they kind of catch you up because obviously the Fantastic Four's origin story, it's not as popular or as iconic as Superman or Spider-Man or whatever. So that was good. Yeah, no glaring issues with acting in my opinion. I was talking to my brother last night about it and he had a very big upset about one of the characters that appeared and how he hated one of the actors. I personally didn't mind it, but I did think it was a bit weird. I was like, is this meant to be a cameo actor? Like from an actor who's not really an actor, you know? But apparently he's just a regular actor. So it did stand out to me, but I didn't really hate it. Before we move forward, let's take a bite out of this. Cheese, fire noodles, rice paper, and a chicken finger. So chicken finger for the Thing, fire noodles for Human Torch, rice paper for Sue Storm. It's like an invisible shield. Look at that. Look at that, it's an invisible shield protecting the Fantastic Four. And cheese for Mrs. Fantastic. Oh my god, this is gonna be so spicy. I apologize if I'm not gonna be able to talk after eating this. Why am I doing this? Oh, actually wait, I need to take my lactose pill. Fuck. Okay, we're back. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? I'm gonna eat the one that's like busted open first. That tastes pretty fucking good, bro. Listen, rice paper is like a goated wrap. It's like a goated carb sauce, you know? If you guys have had rice paper rolls from like a sushi place or like a Vietnamese place, oh my god. Tastes so good. And the chicken and the cheese definitely dilutes the spiciness of the noodles. Thank God. This is doable. I do have like a lot of leftover noodles that I have to finish as well, so. Welcome to the inside of my mouth, by the way. The CGI, it's definitely better than Brave New World. Brave New World CGI, oh man, that was, especially near the ending, that was an issue. I think the third act of this movie, the CGI is a bit of iffy as well, but yeah, I really like the settings and the sets they go through in this movie. Like I don't know how to explain this without spoiling it, but there are like some like backgrounds and like plot points where I'm like, damn, this is like a cool setting for these characters to be in. By the way, talking about settings and visuals and stuff, the aesthetic, the retro aesthetic, I really liked it. Throughout the whole movie, I really liked it. I didn't get bored of it. And they also used that with the actual film. I don't know how to explain this without spoiling it, because I also don't want to spoil the surprise of how it looks on screen. But basically like how it looks on screen, like the shots and stuff, it's also, you know, it's really funky and fun. That's what I'll say. Okay, I know people are gonna be wondering like how does this compare to Superman? I don't think it's as good as Superman, to be honest. It's not as memorable. The thing with Superman, it took a lot of risks and it got most of them right. Like most of them hit the ball, you know? Like it took a lot of swings and I think a lot of people really like those swings. This movie, it's relatively safe in terms of like its concepts and, you know, in the broader MCU. It's like, it is an MCU movie, but I think it's a good one. It's not like groundbreaking or whatever. I do have issues with it, which I'll get into spoilers, but it's alright. I'm definitely not gonna be thinking about this movie. I have thought very minimally about this movie since watching it, because after watching Superman, I was like, oh my god, I have like so many thoughts I have to like get out. I think my criticisms of Superman, they were more glaring to me, but I can acknowledge that Superman was the better movie and I think I had a more enjoyable time watching that. All right, let's take another bite of this. Hopefully it doesn't get spicier. It is getting spicy. Oh no. There is a mid-credit scene and there is a post-credit scene. The first one is definitely more important. The second one is more like a tease or like whatever. In terms of like the story, I mean, like we pretty much know the plot from the trailers and stuff. It's like about Galactus coming to Earth and the Silver Surfer and all that. Silver Surfer, I think she's gonna be a standout character, but I think there was a bunch that was cut from this movie, especially with Silver Surfer's journey and her character arc in this movie. I think that was a lot cut, and I think I could kind of tell by the end. Like, it's kind of random how the major conflict ends. I know there was John Malkovich's scenes cut. I'm not really talking about that, but if there wasn't anything cut in the first place with Silver Surfer and what I'm referring to in like the final act or whatever, then it was kind of just poorly written. What can I say? And I think a lot of characters in this movie, they're just a bit dumb. They're not thinking to their full potential, and there are lots of deus ex machinas. I think that's what it's called, where a plot has some sort of like coincidence in it that helps the characters and the protagonists achieve their goal, which didn't really feel earned. It just came out of nowhere. I feel like this movie has a lot of that, which is a bad thing. Reed Richards, I know he's meant to be a genius, but sometimes I'm like, This was the best you could do? Like you're the smartest person on the planet? Okay. And also, I feel like this world, this universe, because it's like an alternate world or whatever, it doesn't feel like a real world. It just feels like Fantastic Four plus everyone else. It doesn't feel like a full breathing, living world, because when Galactus arrives on Earth, who like comes in to like send their support to stop him? Fucking no one. No military, no air jets or anything, no bombs. Just nothing. I'm like, you know those little those carpet things with the roads and the maps and shit where you can use your toy cars that you had in like school? Is this New York City one of those? There's just nothing there. It's all fake. I don't know. Yeah, I think this movie was alright, but I think Superman will definitely stand out more. I can't imagine Fantastic Four catching word of mouth as good as Superman, but I know Fantastic Four is projected to earn more money at the box office than Superman. Go at least for this opening weekend, so, you know. All right, I'm gonna finish this first one. Oh my God. I am severely lacking in my protein goals as of the moment, because I went to the gym. For breakfast, I had a banana and half a peanut butter sandwich, like one slice of bread folded up, because I knew I was gonna eat this, which is like super dense kilojoules / calories. Yeah, just zero protein. Anyways, you don't care about that. I think we should go into spoilers, because this movie, there's just not much to talk about. I'm gonna be honest, like I said before, I wasn't really like thinking about it after finishing the movie. I don't know, man. I'm excited for Avengers Doomsday. I will say that. After watching the full movie, I can see how they set up Pedro Pascal. Oh, sorry. Reed Richards to lead the Avengers. Like, it makes sense to me now. But let's go into spoilers. I got my notepad. Oh, let's see what let's see. We'll do one more bite to initiate the spoiler section. That tastes really fucking good. So we learn that this Earth is named Earth 828, and we learn by the end of the movie that it's named after Jack Kirby's birthday. Whoa! We also get a different Marvel intro, so we don't get the typical dun 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 dun. So we start off with the Fantastic Four's there's like a montage of like their origin and a bunch of villains they fight, and they also recreated the Fantastic Four cover, their first cover of them appearing, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh, that's sick. Yeah, that whole montage I thought was really good. It was a really strong start to the movie. I think they nailed it. Like I said before, I'm glad they didn't focus too much on you know, their origin and stuff, because that's not really the point of the movie. And I have to address this as well. I only saw the first official trailer for this movie, I think. I think I saw like one other trailer before another movie in the theater. I didn't really pay attention to like the clips and the other trailers and stuff, so forgive me if I mentioned something that was already revealed earlier. Such as, I think people knew that it was called the Future Foundation. Sorry, the Future Foundation, that's the building. And we get Mole Man. I know Mole Man was rumored for this movie, and this is the one actor I was referring to when my brother was like, I hated him, I hated when he was on screen. He hated the actor for Mole Man. And again, I didn't hate him, but when he was on screen, yeah, the way he acted was kind of weird, because I was like, is this like a cameo from like a really famous person that I don't really know? But turns out he's just another actor, so maybe that says something. But it was really cool to see Mole Man. I don't know if I like this iteration of him, how he's like a real person, you know? Just like a regular guy with like the glasses and shit, but it's whatever, I guess. The only thing I know Mole Man from is Superhero Squad show, I think. All right, bear with me as I try to read my handwriting that I wrote in the dark. The Thing talking to the teacher, CGI is a bit iffy, yeah. So when the Thing is trying to rizz up that teacher, his CGI was a bit weird. Also, that whole set, what was it? Was it Brooklyn? Sorry, I don't know, but that whole town, it felt like a fake city. It felt like a fake street, did it not? It did not feel like a real place. It felt like a set. It reminded me of Deadpool and Wolverine, where they fight all those Deadpool variants, like how that set felt really fake. Like this one felt really fake as well. And I think I also thought that when I watched the trailer for the first time, I was like, oh, it looks a bit fake here as well, but hopefully they'll fix it or whatever. But no, when I was watching the movie, I was like, this set looks fake. So yeah, this whole thing with the teacher, I guess like they ditched the whole Alicia thing. I think that's his love interest in the comics, who's blind in the comics, so I don't know if that's teaching the right lesson in the first place. I mean, this plot kind of went nowhere. I feel like some of this was cut. Yeah, the Thing didn't really have a character arc in this movie. Okay, maybe that's one criticism I have. Like, none of the characters, they really evolve throughout. You know, they don't really change. That was one of my criticisms for Superman as well. Like, I don't know how much to expect nowadays, you know? Like, a fucking movie should have the protagonist changing from beginning to end. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? All right, let's take another bite of this. Like I said, they name drop some villains that they fought in the past. I caught Puppet Master, Wizard, and as I was writing those two down, I was trying to remember the third one, but I forgot, so that's pretty cool, I guess. And then Silver Surfer arrives, and we get that shot of Johnny Storm chasing Silver Surfer into space, basically. And there's this one shot of Johnny Storm and Silver Surfer in space, and I was like, this looks pretty fucking sick. Actually, let's talk about the Silver Surfer CGI for a bit. I know like some people were a bit iffy on it. I think I was a bit iffy on it when the trailer first came out, and they've definitely improved it since. But the textures are unreal. They look really good. But I think the thing that bothers me about the Silver Surfer in this movie, in terms of her CGI, is her physics. She's too like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like a real person with weight. Like the way she moves, like with the way her limbs react to gravity and stuff. I know she can like fly or whatever, but like when she's just moving regularly, I don't mean like zipping through and stuff. Those scenes were fucking cool. The way she like dodges stuff, it just feels like a 3D rig inside her. Like an animation. But close-up shots, it looked really good. I wrote, the aesthetic reminds me of Marvels. So Marvels is the graphic novel. Who's it by? It's by Busiek. What's his fucking first name? Kurt Busiek? Kurt Busiek, and illustrated by Alex Ross. It's like a fucking phenomenal story in the Marvel universe. Yeah, Kurt Busiek. Yeah, him and Alex Ross, they create like this fantastic Marvel graphic novel. It's one of my favorites. I have it up there. The aesthetic really reminded me of that, and I tried to catch some potential of some Easter eggs, but I couldn't find any myself, so. Excelsior is the name of their ship. And by the way, I saw a comment saying like, how are there like people like 50 meters away from the rocket ship launching? Like they would just get all eviscerated, and I was like, true. I didn't really think about that, but I guess that's why they didn't have rocket ship pads in the middle of New York fucking city. Guys, I'm really hungry. I'm just gonna eat this. Those space sequences, when they go into space, I wrote, this reminds me of Star Wars. This is cool. It is really cool. Like when they go light speed, I was like, this is fucking sick. I feel like Fantastic Four, they've just been missing that whole space element this whole time from all the other movies. So I'm really glad that they managed to go into space and do like all this weird wacky space shit. And yeah, I think they nailed the aesthetic. And we finally see Galactus. I read Galactus looks sick, but something about it was kind of weird looking. Alright guys, AI has tainted my fucking brain, because when I saw Galactus just sitting there and just moving only slightly, it just reminded me of all those AI shots of just characters just doing nothing but just slowly moving like this. That's all I could think of. I'm sorry, but that's definitely not the fault of the CGI artist. He looked great. I wanted him to have the square eyes, like the pupils, like the rings, but I don't know if that's a thing from the comics. And he wanted Franklin Richards because, you know, he knows that that kid is gonna be the most powerful being in the universe. I was like, oh shit, did not expect this plot to go this way, but here we go. And they're like, oh fuck, we gotta go back. We're not giving you our kid to save Earth or whatever. And I was like, this is quite the dilemma. Oh, that Silver Surfer chase scene when they're in the rocket ship and she's in like the portal, and she's actually like surfing, which I like. That was really cool. And they just say, Johnny, kill her. I was like, whoa. I always forget Marvel ain't DC. They're fucking killing people left and right. So Johnny Storm's like trying to fucking shoot her down with the laser, and the laser's going real, real. However, something I will say is that why are we getting so many black holes? We got a black hole in Superman. We got a black hole in Fantastic Four, this movie. We got a black hole kind of in Thunderbolts. No, that wasn't really a black hole. But I feel like ever since we got that photo of what a black hole actually looks like, we've just been getting black holes in movies like left and right, because we're like, oh yeah, we know what a black hole looks like now. Let's chuck it in. I have to suspend so much belief to think that they can escape a black hole. It's a black hole, okay? Next I wrote, quick ass birth. It was very quick. That was like the fastest birth of all time. But you can argue that was because Galactus prompted it. I guess if you're Celestial, you can prompt a very fast birth for babies. That might be it. So they come back to Earth, and I wrote, why would they tell the reporters what Galactus wanted? I wouldn't say shit. I'd be like, oh, no, he didn't agree and is coming. I wouldn't tell them that he wanted our baby. Maybe they're better people than me, but I was like, dude, why would you say that? You know how people are. All right, I'm gonna take another bite out of this, the final one. The final one, the final Fantastic Four rice paper. This is so fucking stupid. Just thinking about what I've made here. Like if I showed someone this and I was like, hey, what team does this remind you of? They'd be like, what are you on about? All right. Pretty crazy plan to teleport Earth away from the solar system. I don't know how that works. They were like, oh yeah, we'll teleport us to like another inhabitable solar system or whatever. And I was like, surely teleporting Galactus away in the first place would have been easier, right? But that's such a nitpick, I don't really care. And then Silver Surfer comes and just destroys him, just fucking blitzes through. I was like, damn, Shalabawi crazy. And then yeah, she crashes out in Times Square, all thanks to Johnny Storm. Dude, Johnny Storm is like the rest of us. He gets obsessed with every line that a woman says. It's like we try to decode that shit and he did it. He's the first man to ever do it. That was such like a boomer joke right there. Like, oh, like women, am I right? Ha ha ha. And then they go back to Mole Man to be like, hey, can you take these people underground? And I wrote, I didn't expect so much Mole Man. And I'm not sure if I missed it, but what's this whole Subterranea like with people and creatures and stuff? My brother said that there were people there, like there were citizens there. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Galactus dropping into the ocean in New York City, like by the bay, I was like, holy shit. We're finally getting Galactus storming New York City. Oh my god, I've dreamed of this. I've fucking mentioned that in my moments we have yet to see in live action or Marvel moments or something, and that was one of them. I was just yearning for other Marvel heroes to be there as well, because it's fucking Galactus in the middle of New York City. This is what we always wanted, and there's just something so grandiose about having all the Marvel heroes do their best to stop Galactus from consuming Earth, you know what I mean? Oh well, we take what we can get, am I right? Galactus' CGI was odd. Yeah, so when Galactus arrives on Earth, his CGI becomes a bit whack. It just doesn't look great. Here are my main criticisms, right? So the final act, their plan was so low IQ, smooth brain dead. Dude, you're gonna try tricking this cosmic being? They switch out the basket with Franklin and they put an empty one there instead while he's not looking. How, Reed, you're the smartest person on the planet, how did you think that was gonna work? I mean, couldn't they have just built like multiple teleport things around the city and just like activate it when he walks into one? I don't know, maybe that would have failed. But still, this plan fucking sucked. I was expecting like a twist, like, oh, that wasn't the actual plan, you know? But that was. I was like, I cannot get over them just like fucking switching the basket with like an empty one. Oh, that was so bad. That was so bad. All right, let's take another bite out of this. By the way, yes, if you're wondering, it is cold now. It is what it is. Still delicious. Gosh, okay, so where do I begin? So back to what I was saying before about how there was no jets or bombs or anything, or no military help or support. Regular fire from Johnny Storm was hurting Galactus, and so was like all that shit that Reed was doing. I'm like, surely like some bombs would have like taken him down. And Reed didn't really even use his powers in this movie. Like he like stretched a little, but he didn't change shape. Maybe it would have looked a bit goofy, but I don't know. I just expected more from Reed. I thought they were hiding a bunch of stuff from like how little they showed in the trailers, but it turns out it was proportionate to how much he uses powers in the movie. But someone who does get to flex their powers a bit is Sue Storm. She fucking solos Galactus basically. And I thought this kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not saying this was woke or whatever, okay? They could have at least like set up her power levels earlier in the movie. Maybe they did, but I don't think so. Like they could have at least like built up to it, you know? Like it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like where did this fucking power upgrade come from? Maybe it's because like Galactus had the kid and it was like a mother's rage kind of thing, like, oh, a mother can lift up a car when the baby's stuck under there or whatever because of adrenaline or some shit. But I don't know, it just didn't work for me, you know? Like I just wish they found some other way, or maybe they just like build up to Sue being like the most powerful person on the team, just something, anything. But it kind of came out of nowhere. And I honestly thought that for a second that they were gonna sacrifice Johnny Storm, because Johnny Storm does something similar in the comics where he like sacrifices himself and dies. And I was like, oh, this might be like a turn, you know, like he might be revived later, but they might actually kill him in this movie. But no, Shalla-Bal, Silver Surfer, she comes out of nowhere and just pushes Johnny aside and tackles Galactus into the fucking teleportation hole or whatever. This is what I was saying. So Silver Surfer's story, she goes from the New York City crash out And that's her next scene, taking out Galactus. There should have been more. I think, from what I remember, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, the 2007 movie, I think they did his transformation a bit more, like his rebellion against Galactus. When I was talking to my brother last night, he actually pointed out that it's very similar to that movie. Like Galactus, from his words, whether Galactus is a cloud or not, he does nothing in the movie. Which I was like, true. Inconsequential, his invasion was. And yeah, and Silver Surfer sacrifices herself just like the other Silver Surfer did in the earlier movie. I don't know, it just came out of nowhere. I feel like there was a chunk of her story missing from the New York City scene and the taking out Galactus scene. Maybe it would have weirdly paced the movie, I don't know, but it just felt really weird. Like, and you do see hints of her going like, oh, but it's just a baby Galactus, but I don't know, it's something about it, just her coming out of nowhere. It was like too much of a coincidence to help the day get saved. Whatever, man. I don't know, Deus Ex Machina. It was like such a random pull to solve the story. And I was waiting for Silver Surfer to come back, but I didn't expect it to be like that quick of a return. Oh well. And Sue Storm's dying, and Reed Richards, I wrote incorrect CPR. You're the smartest person on earth, but you don't know how to do CPR. Okay then. And I was like, wait, there's no way they just killed Sue. Like I kept waiting for like a revival moment, and I was like, there's no way they just killed Sue, right? Like something's gonna happen. And I was like, how does this even work without Sue? And then Franklin Richards, she like crawls on her, and then she starts waking up, and I was like, really? This is how we're doing it? Okay, buddy. I think we did need some evidence of Franklin Richards' power, and you know, bringing someone back to life, I think that works. But like bringing back one of the main characters, like you killed off a main character and you bring her back to life. I feel like that was the wrong character to do that. I think a better way to go would have been if Silver Surfer died somehow, taking out Galactus, and then Franklin Richards revives her instead. So her betrayal actually meant something and like she becomes a hero. I just came up with that on the spot. Maybe it's bad, I don't know. But to do it to a main character like that on their first appearance in the franchise, I'm like, that was weird, you know? That's it basically. Everyone thought that this universe was going to be destroyed and then the Fantastic Four were gonna migrate over to the 616 universe. By the way, I still hate how it's called the 616 universe. That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's talk about the mid-credit scene. Dr. Doom, well, not really. You get to see his cloak and like his mask, holding his mask and shit. And apparently there were like some empty shots of Latveria in like the ambassador room in the UN or whatever, and it was an empty spot in Latveria. I completely missed that. I don't know how I missed that. I think I was too busy trying to write. I'm still getting used to writing in the dark, by the way, so give me some leeway. But yeah, apparently that was the thing, like they kind of hinted at it. And I think it makes more sense now that that Reed will be the leader of the Avengers, because maybe Reed and Victor Von Doom, and Victor Von Doom comes from 828 universe. Maybe they already have some shared history. So, you know, that makes sense why Reed Richards will be the main protagonist going head to head with Doom. Like, especially if they already have shared history on their world. So yeah, I'm pretty keen. That got me excited. I'm not gonna lie, directed by the Russo brothers. Cool. My camera says low on battery, so I'm probably just gonna eat this. Well, so the camera battery ran out, so here I am. I don't even think there's anything much to talk about. Well, I'm just gonna finish these noodles, I guess. Oh my God. Well, the thing is, like, with these noodles, once it's not, like, physically hot, it's way more easier to eat. Oh my God, I'm gonna shit myself. Oh my God. Oh God. Wow, it is incredible how much everything else diluted the spice. Okay. Oh God, I can't even think. All right, fuck, what was I even gonna say? Well, yeah, overall, I'm not sure if they're gonna come back, Galactus and all that. Silver Surfer. I'm losing all my train of thought now. I saw a comment saying, they theorized that Victor Von Doom is gonna take Franklin. He's gonna end up on Earth 616, and that's why the Fantastic Four travel there to rescue Franklin. That makes sense. The post-credit scene, the very end, that was nothing. That was nothing. I don't even remember, it was like a cartoon or some shit. I can feel my stomach burning. I can feel it. Yeah, overall, it was a movie, I guess. It was a movie. It was all right, it was good. It was a good movie, not great. Didn't take that many risks at all. Played it safe by the end. First half was definitely better than the second half. Lots of plot contrivances, oh my God. All right, you know what, might as well record me finishing this, right? Here we go. I have very little left. Jesus Christ. God damn this Human Torch, motherfucker. One more, one more. Oh, like I was saying earlier, you can't really compare it to Superman. Superman did a lot of things that are out there and people loved it. I liked a lot of those characters in that movie. I know I had criticisms about Superman, but Fantastic Four, nothing really like stood out. Superman had a lot of things that stood out because they took risks, and it felt like something fresh, despite like a lot of things I wish they could have done differently in that movie. Fantastic Four didn't really do. All right, I will not survive Hot Ones. See you guys.